you hear the latest twist in the Ukraine saga where Zelensky suddenly became the maestro of a diplomatic dance-off with Trump? It's a real geopolitical thriller.
Oh, absolutely, Ralph. It's like watching a high-stakes poker game, except with global ramifications instead of just chips. What's the takeaway from this wild diplomatic face-off?
Well, from what I gather, President Zelensky is trying to navigate these treacherous waters by rejecting a U.S. mineral rights deal unless he gets a sit-down with President Trump. He seems adamant about maintaining his country's voice and interests in any negotiations.
Nice, standing firm. But you have to wonder, is his insistence on public confrontation more beneficial or detrimental in dealing with Trump? On one hand, it's bold to speak against a leader wielding considerable power over Ukraine's fate.
Indeed, but let's think practically. Historically, poking at Trump has not often yielded favorable outcomes for those dependent on his goodwill. It's an approach that requires a fine balance, something akin to walking a diplomatic tightrope.
True, Ralph, but isn't it refreshing to see a leader refuse to be muzzled, even when facing possible repercussions? Many Ukrainians apparently see Zelensky's posture as a reflection of their own national resolve against external pressures.
That's certainly a point, but if we look at it strategically, one might argue that aligning more subtly with influential backers, like Europe, could be more advantageous in the long run, especially given Trump's notorious volatility.
Right, plus with recent advice pouring in from European leaders, even urging more serene diplomacy might illustrate where this partnership needs to pivot. Yet it's undeniably a tricky position for Zelensky, who's been lauded for his emphatic assertiveness before.
And let's not ignore the optics. Turning down that mineral deal while pursuing broader military aid can reflect both valor and vulnerability. His challenge? Amplifying Ukraine's needs without forfeiting some support over perceived hubris.
Exactly. Hence his dilemma. Should he put national interests solely on diplomatic tact or maintain his bold, perhaps slightly risky narrative? As a curious observer, though, it's fascinating to speculate on which strategy might yield better results.
No easy answers here, but regardless, it's a gripping chapter in the ongoing saga, reflecting the constant push and pull between personal leadership style and international politics.